Talent Talk Tuesdays is all about harnessing your God-given talents to live with greater clarity, purpose, and joy. You are wonderfully made, my friends. May all we do be for God's glory. Hello and welcome to Talent Talk Tuesdays. I'm your host, Lisa Mladinich, and today's love story is the true tale of a good marriage founded on strong faith and many years of shared ministry. They were already a terrific couple, but they had a problem that kept stealing their joy until they understood something extremely important. Because of our talents, every one of us sees and experiences life differently, so much so that in a marriage, it can seem almost like we're in two separate universes. It can be really frustrating and, frankly, lonely. But these differences are actually part of God's beautiful design for our marriages. Let that sink in. But to harness that incredible design in ourselves and in each other, we need more information. And you know what I'm going to advocate for. So now, as always, I'm sharing the story with the written permission of this dear friend of mine, who in her typical way just really wants to bless others by sharing this story. So this couple that I'll call Lucy and Jeremiah were missionaries for many years because they share a passionate love for Jesus, for each other, and for people in need. So they were powerfully joined in their marriage by a shared mission. And their marriage was already good, but it needed help, which eventually came in the form of a Clifton Strengths coach they met overseas. So here's what the problem looked like. Jeremiah is high in a talent theme called ideation. It's a strategic thinking theme that is off the charts creative. Now, Jeremiah can dream up more ideas in a day than he can ever act on in a year, and that's typical. High ideation people are dreamers. They are amazing idea generators, the people you want on your team to keep things fresh and innovative and alive. So it's not uncommon for them to have stacks of notebooks or huge folders of documents on their computers full of ideas. In fact, they often write them down just to quiet their minds so they can sleep at night and to assure themselves that their precious and often beautiful ideas are never lost or forgotten. So these talented people need space to dream and someone to listen, someone who will hold that space so they can explore the idea to its fullest. Now, Jeremiah, as I've mentioned, is married to Lucy. And Lucy is very high in a powerful talent called restorative. Now, restorative is the gifted problem solver. She's a natural solutions expert. You give Lucy a plan and she'll tell you how to make it a better plan by showing you all the possible ways it could go wrong. Now, that can come off like criticism, but it's not, because she can also, in her brilliance, offer solutions, mitigations, and contingencies to help ensure success. She's that person you want on your team because she will save you from losing an incredible amount of lost time, money, energy, from falling into potholes instead of getting to your goal. So here's what would happen all too often when they were together. Jeremiah would start to share an idea. He'd be like a kid who found a treasure and he'd want to share it and explore it out loud with his beautiful wife. And Lucy, with the best intentions possible, with a heart full of love, desiring to support Jeremiah, would look at that treasure and see all the problems. So before he could fully explore his idea, she'd start ideating solutions. Well, if we're going to do that, we need to do this first, and then this, and we'll have to be careful of that. And poor Jeremiah would deflate. And Lucy didn't understand why her loving care and support for his ideas kept getting rejected. In fact, both their feelings were getting hurt, and they didn't understand what was happening or why. So they were in this stuck place where neither of them felt seen or heard. And it was hard because they were both motivated by love, and they were both operating in their natural talents, which just felt natural to them, right? They weren't doing anything to try to harm each other in any way. Well, they finally meet this strengths coach, and that person helped them understand their own wiring and helped them to appreciate each other's talents and needs. And an amazing thing happened. The joy in their marriage suddenly expanded in a new and exciting way. These two missionaries who had followed the call of God to the far reaches of the world together suddenly found themselves on the shores of each other's hearts. And Lucy and Jeremiah, in their joy, came up with a metaphor for the new way of being together that God was showing them through their understanding of their natural gifts. And they call it standing back to back with their arms linked. And what they mean is that they see the world very differently, almost as if they're back to back, seeing totally different views. But when they stand back to back, they link arms so they can look at everything together by saying, here's what I see. What do you see? And by adding together their halves of the picture, they now have a 360-degree view of their world and their marriage. And they rejoice because they see so much more together than they saw apart. And now they both feel seen and heard, appreciated, understood, and necessary to the other. They've discovered God's amazing design in themselves and each other and in their unique and unrepeatable marriage. So if this story caught at your heart and made you wonder, what would my marriage feel like and look like if we could stand back to back with our arms linked? Consider doing the Clifton Strengths Assessment and using that book I recommended in last week's episode about 6 times, Strengths-Based Marriage. And of course, feel free to reach out to me if you'd like some coaching support. I'd be very happy to talk with you. This is not complicated work. You need more information about yourself and about each other. And remember, the differences are there for a reason. It's part of God's plan. And the two of you can learn to stand back to back with your arms linked for a 360-degree view. And you and your sweetheart, don't forget, are wonderfully made, my friends. I'm praying for you. Please pray for me too. Reach out to me if you want to talk or share a question or a comment. God bless you.